I say time, you say come. Time. Time.
Somebody please tell the Prime Minister to call the election because the comrades are ready.
Time come for young people. Time come for move Andrew out of power.
Let the people go.
The line stop here. The game done. Time come.
So when them cutting ribbon over hospital with them paint up, we're going to cut hernias. We're going to cut fibroids, cancers.
Don't believe in me. I'm not Jesus. Believe with me that better can come.
With Mark Golding as Prime Minister, the dreams you dream today will be the reality he creates tomorrow.
The people of Jamaica are ready for change. Everywhere I go, I see the wind of change blowing.
Somebody asks me, Perry, why aren't you a labourite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
No one say one blood and comrade victory.
We are going to Jamaica House. We are rescuing Jamaica, and Mark Golding will be the next Prime Minister.
Power, power, power to the people. Power to the people. A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also.
A blessed good day to you, my wisdom warriors. Wagwan, wagwan. I hope you guys are in good spirit. A man was shot by the police during an alleged confrontation in Old Harbour, St. Catherine last night. The incident occurred around 11:50 p.m. in the Grove district of Gutters. According to the police, a team was conducting an operation when a confrontation occurred between a 40-year-old man and the officers, during which the man was shot. My wisdom warriors, don't you ever notice anytime PNP keep them rally? Either the next day you hear say a man dead, you hear say police shoot man, you hear say house dey on fire. Just check the levels. Every time anywhere PNP keep them rally, always some problem after the day after. Police always go there and kill the people them. I just don't understand it. Seriously. I just don't understand it. A 56-year-old St. Catherine man was on Thursday found guilty of the rape of an underage girl. He was remanded by Justice Dale Palmer for sentencing on October 31st in the St. Catherine Circuit Court. The matter, which was tried over 2 weeks, saw the jury return a 5-1 verdict on count 1 and unanimous guilty verdict on count 2. Anyway, my people, we're moving on because me have a lot for sure, Uno remember the girl named Zara, the journalist girl. My people, I have the video here for sure now. A long time Andrew Holness is under investigation. My wisdom warriors, I want to sit back, relax, and listen keenly because may I tell you, Andrew Holness have to go to prison and he have to come down. And really and truly, Andrew Holness should have stepped down a long time ago. My wisdom warriors, in the last video, I tell you say, Peter Phillips did not want the Jamaican people, but the people, they never have a clue. They never have a clue. A long time Andrew Holness a thief. Long time. My wisdom warriors, una go get a shock on a life. Hear this.
Poor man must build his castle. Every poor man must build him big house.
He became Jamaica's newest prime minister despite controversy about his big house.
Join us in a partnership for prosperity.
We uncover a trail of property purchases and ask, is Andrew Holness paying his part?
Is that why you didn't pay the property taxes on the home?
What the
Wanna hear that, my people? Wanna hear what she asks him? Stay tuned, my people, because it is about to go down.
Prime Minister didn't want you to know before the election. And later, Holness sounds the warning on corruption to his new cabinet.
Corruption will not be tolerated in this government.
But does his own record raise questions when it comes to awarding public contracts? We reveal how Holness signed off on taxpayer money for a contract to his associates on this episode of 18 Degrees North. We begin our show with Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. During the 2016 general elections, his house became front and centre. The public, and perhaps more so the ruling People's National Party, they wanted to know why a St. Lucian company owned his house and where he got the money, since news reports had put its value at about $2 million, a figure Holness has not confirmed. After all, Holness had been a politician most of his professional life, didn't come from money, and his salary at the time was just over $60,000 each year, not counting allowances. Holness answered several of the questions asked, but we at 18 Degrees North had others. What we found was an interesting series of property purchases and an uneven playing field when it comes to personal tax matters. It also shed light on the relationship between Jamaican politicians and their associates in the awarding of public contracts. We're staying right here in Jamaica at 18 Degrees North and 77 Degrees West.
The Labour Party believe that every poor man must build his castle. Every poor man must build him big house. And we not grudge you for it. We are going to help you to achieve that. That is why we say education for free, health for free, and we must make the place secure so you can live and enjoy yourself.
This is the house, built on 3/4 of an acre, complete with stone-cut wall, in the exclusive Beverly Hills neighborhood just outside Kingston. It's a huge upgrade from where Jamaica's newest Prime Minister and then opposition leader Andrew Holness says he was born.
I was born in a 2-bedroom board house at 56 Cumberland Road in a Spanish town. My father is still a farmer and my mother is a retired civil servant.
Property records showed the Beverly Hills land was purchased by a St. Lucian-based company, ADMAT Incorporated, for $300,000 in 2011, 3 months before Holness became Prime Minister of Jamaica for the first time, and when he was Minister of Education. There's no mortgage listed. In a statement, Holness says he's the sole director of ADMAT and a shareholder, along with his 2 sons, Adam and Matthew. Holness says he got the money from funds in his accounts at 2 of Jamaica's investment banks and used his savings, salary, loans and credit from suppliers established through his wife, who is a real estate developer, to build the house, costing him approximately $52 million, or around $525,000. He says the St. Lucian structure was used for estate planning. His attorney, Patrick Bailey, says there's that, and the additional potential benefit of avoiding transfer taxes.
If the house at Beverly Hills is the only asset and he was selling it, he would simply sell the company, sell the shares. The company would have its shareholding transferred from him and his children to the new purchasers, whereas the title would remain unchanged because the new purchaser will be the owners of ADMAT and be the owners of the property. So in that case, there's no transfer from one entity to another. So you save on transfer tax and stamp duties and those sorts of things.
Civil society activist Carol Narcisse says the leader of the country shouldn't be trying to avoid taxes.
Especially if you're a prime minister and you're telling your citizens that they need to conform to the regulatory environment that you have designed, that you do not think you can adhere to, because it is inimical to your interest to adhere to it, or inimical to the interest of your children's future to adhere to it, then there is a major, there's a major inconsistency there that you need to explain.
My wisdom warriors, one thing me learn with Andrew Holness, him no practice way him preach at all. Him put things in place, but him do not follow him own rules. He doesn't. Yes, he said this a man I take with a fool. Wanna see that door? Let's continue.
Join us in a partnership for prosperity. Let's change Jamaica for the better. Choose prosperity.
Does he own other entities in there, in ADMAT?
In ADMAT?
Yeah.
I think he has at least one other property in ADMAT.
And where is that?
That is in somewhere in the Arcadia area. Right.
And that's considered land or also?
No, it's an apartment. Actually, he's now in the process of selling that. unit. He owes suppliers, because suppliers gave him credit for the house he's building in Beverly Hills.
And the source of funds for that was what?
That one, I can't recall all of those details, but I seem to remember that he has always used the house that he lives in and get loans and that sort of thing.
We checked the title for the property where Bailey says both Holness and his wife lived at the time of our interview and found no additional loans or mortgages other than those originally taken out in 2002 when they bought the house for 7 million Jamaican dollars, around 144,000 US dollars back then.
So you were satisfied then with the source of the funds in both cases?
Oh, absolutely, 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 absolutely. He saved in US stocks and amongst his portfolio. So he was saving, because these are savings.
Is that savings from him alone or him and his wife?
I don't know that level of personal detail. That would be. I don't know that level
of what you know. Is there any evidence?
I know of nothing. I know of nothing else that he owns in relation to ADMAT.
Okay.
He currently owns rather.
We checked the title for the Acadia property and found that it was indeed purchased by the same St. Lucian company ADMAT Incorporated in 2008, again when Holness was Minister of Education. The price tag, 16 million Jamaican dollars, around 219,000 US back then, and again, no mortgage was listed. Further, we also checked whether ADMAT owned additional properties and found one more. A half-acre lot, also bought in Beverly Hills on Wycliffe Close in February 2009, also when Holness was Minister of Education, price tag, around 15 million Jamaican dollars, almost 173,000 US dollars, and again, no mortgage listed.
So you've never heard of this Wycliffe Close property before today?
Let me put it this way. I have never handled, and when I look at the transfer, I see the names of lawyers who I know. And he's entitled to have more than one lawyer. We all have to eat.
So all told, when it comes to properties, there's the Great House Boulevard home that Holness and his wife bought with a mortgage while Holness was a mere member of Parliament. And in the 4 years he was Minister of Education, earning the equivalent of around 60,000 US dollars per year, or 90,000 with allowances, there was the Arcadia apartment, no mortgage listed. The land at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills, no mortgage listed. The land for the Shenstone Beverly Hills house he's building, no mortgage listed. And around 525,000 US dollars spent building the house in the 3 years after Holness's Jamaica Labour Party lost the election in 2011. Holness, through a member of his team, said he wouldn't comment on the source of funds for any of his properties before the election, but even after, he didn't. He also said he would make his financial statement public at the end of March 2016, but he didn't. Despite several calls to Juliet Holness, a property developer, chartered accountant, and newly elected member of Parliament, she didn't get back.
What about property taxes?
No, but he has to pay property tax.
At the time of our initial checks in the 2 weeks before the election, the house in Beverly Hills had an outstanding balance since 2013 on the tax administration's website. Amount, about $174,000 or US $1,400 approximately. Property taxes on the Wycliffe Close land in Beverly Hills were listed as not having been paid since 2009, a total of about $175,000 or US around $1,400. And the Great House Boulevard home that he owned with his wife Juliet, that was listed as outstanding since 2014, owing Jamaicans $64,000 or about 526 US dollars. We call the tax administration to confirm. Volume is 1118.
Andrew Holness?
Yeah.
The amount is $64,000 outstanding and $50 for 2 years.
All in, Holness or his entities were listed at the time as owing almost 413,000 Jamaican dollars, around 3,400 US dollars. It wasn't clear if there were any amounts owing for the apartment at Arcadia Drive. Caroline Hay, former Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, says, in general, no leader should be backed up on their taxes. We did not ask her specifically about Holness.
No public official ought to be behind on their taxes. You are in a position when you're a public official in a position of trust, and one would imagine an example to the nation as to what values we want in positions of leadership.
Days after 18 Degrees North brought it to Holness's attention, and before the election, the tax administration's website reflected zero balances for the 2 Beverly Hills properties at Shenstone Drive and Wycliffe Close. However, taxes on the house he owns with his wife were still listed as owing as of our last check, March 18, 2016, even as he became Prime Minister of Jamaica for a second time.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica.
Coming up on 18 Degrees North, too close for comfort? How Andrew Holness signed off on taxpayers' money for a contract to his associates. 18 Degrees North just uncovered a trail of property purchases linked to Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. Now see how that trail led us down another path, that of government contracts awarded to his associates.
Corruption will not be tolerated in this government.
The property at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills remains an open lot today. As it turns out, the owner, Andrew Holness's ADMAT Incorporated, applied to the National Environmental Planning Agency to build townhouses in 2010, but that application was turned down. Representing ADMAT in this application was one Robert Garvin.
Robert Garvin is not a director in any way, shape or form of ADMAT.
No, man, he's not.
But why would Robert Garvin's name then appear on an application to the land development?
Because he's acting as agent, he's doing the process. Yeah. That's not unusual.
According to Companies Office records, Robert Garvin is or was a director of other entities affiliated with Andrew or Juliet Holness: Positive Jamaica Foundation Limited, Sunshine Mobile, West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited, Omega Bridge Finance, and the now removed Delido Taxi Service.
Who is Robert Garvin?
Garvin?
Robert Garvin.
Never met the name, never heard the name. But I do remember Positive. But I did set up Positive Jamaica, I remember that.
Right, but he's one. Yeah. Positive Jamaica is in part a director by Garvin.
I know he was a director of
and by the way, one more thing. What about the fact that Garvin used this address, 28 Herb McKinley?
Because this is my address. It's precisely what I'm saying. You're at 28 Herb McKinley, no?
I know. So why Robert Garvin used it and you
Because we set up the company here. Garvin, I'm not saying that. I don't remember the name.
Separately, Robert Garvin is also listed as the director of Westcon Construction, along with one Donovan Simpson. Garvin used the address 25 Dominica Drive while setting up Westcon, the same address he and Holness used when registering West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited. Government records show Westcon Construction as receiving 14 government contracts, totaling 28.5 million Jamaican dollars, or around 386,000 US dollars. This was between 2006 and 2009, even as Holness or his wife shared directorships with Garvin on 4 entities. 12 of the 14 contracts were under the JLP government, with which Holness has a career-long affiliation. 9 of the 14 list 0 or only 1 tender. 10 of the 14 were granted by the Minister of Education when Andrew Holness was Minister, and by the National Works Agency and Social Development Commission for work in Holness's constituency. Holness even instructed the Social Development Commission to pay Westcon Construction just under 1.5 million Jamaican dollars, or around US $21,000 back then. He signed the document himself. There was only one bidder for cleaning, bushing and trimming of the roadways in Holness's constituency of West Central St. Andrew, and no procurement committee approval. Payment was requested by Holness December 20th, 2007, and paid promptly on the same day. When contacted in a general sense, the current Social Development Commission head, Dwayne Vernon, said, while not the norm, it is possible to have a request and payment on the same day, especially when there's a contract in place with stated payment dates. Vernon, who didn't address this contract specifically, also said, the SDC does not procure for constituencies. This is the prerogative of the MP and his or her project officer. Civil society activist Carol Narcisse says, awarding of government contracts in Jamaica has been a long-standing cause for concern.
When each side is in government, there are uncomfortable levels of awarding of contracts to persons who are either political supporters, campaign financiers, or other connected parties.
We asked Holness whether he declared his relationship with Garvin while contracts were being awarded to Western Construction, but he didn't get back to us. We called Garvin, but he said he couldn't talk at the time and he didn't answer our text message. When contacted, Garvin's partner in Western Construction, Donovan Simpson, he tried to distance himself from the inner workings of the company.
I don't know where are these projects. I don't know how much were collected.
So you didn't benefit from these contracts, that's what you're saying?
No.
Even though his name is not on the filing, is Andrew Holness a part of this company?
No, not to my knowledge. No, man, he's not a part of it.
Do you know if Garvin is a friend of Andrew Holness?
Yes, yeah, man, they are friends. They are very close. So from the two of us are friends. It's what Andrew went in politics, you know. I met him at Siaga's office because Robert and Siaga were very close also, you know.
Okay.
So the first time I saw Andrew is when Robert invited me to the Siaga's office in New Kingston.
We searched, but could find no record of Holness declaring his relationship with Robert Garvin or Donovan Simpson. And the Office of the Contractor General would only say that we should request an investigation, which we did. When asked in a general sense, and not about Holness specifically, Caroline Hayes says these kinds of relationships should be declared.
In the procurement rules and guidelines that I've read, there's been a concern about whether there is a connection either directly, meaning you have an interest in a company that's bidding for public assets and public benefit, or indirectly, meaning it's in the name of a wife, in the name of a girlfriend, in the name of a child, in the name of an associate. It's a duty of all staff and any other public officers and officials directly or indirectly involved in the procurement process, especially in the preparation of bidding documents, evaluation, contract negotiations, contract management and payments, to declare any potential conflicts of interest.
Whether Holness declared his relationship with Garvin remains unclear. However, Bailey, his attorney, is adamant that all assets associated with Andrew Holness were declared.
In every case, everything that he has owned from the time that from the time he set up ADMAT, going back to 2001, everything has been declared.
We checked with the Integrity Commission, but no one ever got back to us. Information submitted is usually confidential.
The law that governs it explicitly states that these declarations cannot be made public, and if they are made public, whoever makes them public is subject to a fine of over $1 million, right? These declarations of assets need to be brought under the ambit of the Access to Information Act so that we can request to see and be given, or given a good reason why we can't be given.
In Jamaica, breaches of the rules governing the awarding of government contracts carry a possible fine of $1,000 or around $8 and or 3 months in prison. See what happens when we try to get answers from Andrew Holness on the campaign trail.
Can you give me a sense of who Robert Garvin is?
That's next on 18 Degrees North. Holness may have wrested control from the People's National Party, in part because of his 10-point tax plan. During the election campaign, though, there were skeptics. Critics charged, how was he going to plug the millions in lost revenues in US dollar terms when his plan would essentially eliminate income tax on those earning the equivalent of around $12,000 US or less? Holness's plan was to spur spending and generate more revenue from consumption tax while raising taxes on high-end earners. We caught up with Holness on the campaign trail. We asked him what else he had up his sleeve and why at the time was he listed as being behind on his property taxes. Where is the economy going? Have you done any analysis of your tax plan and what economic growth is going to look like in your first year?
I wouldn't want to give you a specific figure, But your
But I
analysis
will-
must have produced something that is tangible for the people to understand.
Yeah, but I didn't say I would give you that figure.
But it has produced a figure.
Of course.
Okay.
Otherwise, why would we do the analysis?
Give me a general
Yeah,
sense
I
of
will-
where
I-
we have
I'm-
on the low end, the top end.
I would say to you that if you're going to talk about economic growth, you should be above 3%.
Okay, that's a fair
Yeah.
statement to make.
Right.
Let's talk about some of the other taxes that you, tax incentives and lower
Yeah.
rates. And
So in
I think there was
general-
mention of some transfer taxes
Yeah,
as
so
well.
in general,
and estate-
you want to, our tax plan is to reduce transaction taxes. A part of economic growth is to get the velocity of transactions increasing, and particularly in construction and real estate, because those are major employment areas. So we will bring to the levels which we had them before our transfer tax and stamp duties, and estate taxes as well.
You seem to don't like taxes too much because you-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a small government, free enterprise person. I believe that markets work best and taxes are distortionary.
Okay. Is that why you didn't pay the property taxes on the home?
Well, my property taxes are paid.
On the THS website, when we did the valuation numbers for your properties, the outstanding taxes are there.
No, my taxes are paid.
When we looked, there was your Great House Boulevard property. There was your property that's owned by ADMAT, which you say you're the sole director of. And then there's another property that we actually found under ADMAT as well, up at Wycliffe Close. All three were outstanding. And then we saw that at Wycliffe Close, taxes seem to have been outstanding since 2009. What about the other property, though, at Wycliffe Close?
That I would have to check on. I mean, that's been there for a little while, so I'll have to check on. But I don't want to distract from the message.
No, but you are the person that's saying that you don't necessarily love taxes, yeah?
Yeah,
And
but-
so
but-
you are the lead. You are a leader of this country, potentially the premier leader of this country come next week. And so I'm asking you the question, as the leader of a country, do you believe that your taxes should have been more up to date than the record reflects?
What I'm saying to you, from my best recollection, I've paid my taxes. Now, if it is that they are outstanding, it's not an issue to pay them.
Okay.
I'm not hiding from taxes.
But ADMAT is designed for you to avoid potential
No.
estate taxes
No.
and transfer taxes. You're not
No, it's designed for estate planning purposes.
for estate
Yes,
planning
yes,
purposes,
yes.
that means basically that you avoid some sort of taxes. And I'm saying, does it look good for a leader of a country?
I'm not clear that it's, when we set it up, it was never to avoid any kind of taxes. And it's not likely that I would be able to sell everything. It was set up merely as a way of holding assets. So it's a holding company. That's it. But in any event, let's be clear. Any citizen of any country is permitted. It's not illegal
Right.
to establish, and many persons have.
No doubt. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
the legality. I'm more talking about, does it look good for a leader to be trying to set up their situation so that they avoid paying tax?
No. Any company can, I think, avoid being in a situation. Look, my view on the matter is this: you should plan your estate and plan for taxes the best way possible.
You just said a while ago that you don't see a sense where you would be able to sell everything. What's everything?
No.
What's everything?
You mentioned two properties.
Right.
Yeah.
There's Wycliffe Close,
Yeah,
right, which is an open land right now.
Look, we'll talk again.
No, one thing I wanted to ask
I think
you
you've
about.
gone over the 10 minutes.
Hold on, Mr. Holness. Mr. Holness, I must ask you a question. Can you give me a sense of who Robert Garvin is?
He's the company secretary, but what's the issue?
He's a company secretary. What's your relationship with him?
So this is where we bring 18 Degrees North to a close for this week. Join us online, look us up on Twitter or on Facebook, send us your comments. We're there to bring you Caribbean stories that have global impact. From all of us here at 18 Degrees North, I'm Zara Burton. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
My wisdom warriors, may I tell you, say this a whole heap of information to blouse and skirt. Peter Phillips did a one, you know. Me say Peter Phillips did a one the Jamaican people. Long time Andrew Holness under investigation. Long time. And then come out and go on like he is this cool dude. You know, and he cares about the people and a prosperity say and building. That time Andrew Holness is planning stealing taxpayer money and building himself and his family. This is not good. This is not good. This is why I say I have to show on this my people. You understand? I want to put on a comment down below because I really want to hear what you have to say. My wisdom warriors, I hear some I go left it. Wanna tell me what you think, wanna tell me how you feel about this, and put an honest opinion in the comment section. Like up the video, share it out, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome and big up on a nice clean self. One love.
Why not go on the first promise? On the things that we are putting back in the office, on the things that we are novice. Oh, no better listen to this. Vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. We have to tell them promptly, people just vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, we have to tell them promptly, cause when they win them a go dump way. Market G, you know you the people them really want to see a great leader who will talk to we. Put on the boat and go, they go walk to we. Yes, go march to we. Because we have some guy with them on a intention, leading the country in the wrong direction. That's why we come to make we own a selection. This we are gonna do a wedding call the election. Vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. So we a tell them promptly, people just vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. We have to tell them